Well, are we recording or not? Let's see here. Okay, I guess we are. I thought we had a little error there. Sorry, folks. This is Red with Red Dragon Leo. It is 4th of July. It should be Independence for America, but as we all know now, or at least I do, I look at things a little differently now than I used to. That all of these holidays are just days of ritual sacrifices where people die at the hands of the evil Illuminati reptilian shapeshifters. Many people go missing and are murdered and tortured in these ceremonies. So just keep that in mind. All the holidays. I actually had I had to put that up. They had a ritual sacrifice where all the holidays basically they have rituals around them, and that's one of the reasons that they have the holidays, is so that they can fool everyone. Anyway, we'll try not to think too much about that. Let's just think about the positive here, to be a happy 4th of July for the living, for us humans. Anyway, moving on to the stock market. I went off on this tangent, I believe, because I've just been watching this guy named Phil Schneider, and very, very interesting. They murdered him after, let's see, he was murdered 6 months after this. He was very high up, only reported to 3 people in the whole country. That's how high his security clearance was. And anyway, he goes to tell his story of how he was building some of the 129 underground cities. He had been in 13 of them that he had personally built. He's a scientist guy and does the calculations for the explosives. He said, yes, Oklahoma City was taken down. You got to understand, this was done in 1995, and in 1993 was when they took down Oklahoma City building there. So, you know, that's only 2 years to him. He never lived, obviously, to see, you know, the World Trade Centers taken down by George Daddy Bush and all the other evil, Henry Kissinger, all the other gangster reptilians that took it down. But anyway, very, very interesting story. Part 5 of 8 is something very much worth watching. I'll put that one on the blog, and then you can just watch all 8 of them if you want to hear more about the alien agenda and what they are doing, the FEMA prison camps, and how they have already got enough prison underground cities and prison camps ready for us whistleblowers, or ready for us patriots. That's what he calls people like me and you who get into this kind of free in America speech and actually stand up for our rights and say stuff like what I'm saying right now and put myself out there. You know, he said there's about 15 million of us, and that they have approximately 15 million cattle car with shackles in them, train cars. It's going to shackle us and take us away underground the city and imprison us. Think about Bruce Willis in that movie where he went back in time to get that cure, or to stop that virus from spreading. Remember, he was in a cage in the future, came up out of the ground and seen the snow was there, and some lion or something that tried to attack him, and he's running from it. I think it was a lion. Maybe it was a polar bear. I can't even remember now. So what's it called? 12 monkeys. That's it. 12 monkeys. Anyway, sorry gang. Let's just go off on weird stuff like this. I've been really working hard on some other things, and I'm going to announce it to you guys soon here. But let's go over this. All right. As far as the charts are going, I do believe at this point we are going to go back up and put in a new high. I know that doesn't seem right, but I do think that that's going to happen, and I have my reasons to believe that. But I still think that we are going to go here and see this 138.86 fake print. I don't think this is done. This was done back on the let's see, 3/12, March the 12th of this year. I think we're going to see this in the next 2 weeks. Probably the week of options expiration or the week after, I think is where we're going to see it. 138.86, I think it's still a valid print. And so you keep that in mind. Then there was also the print from a guy on the blog that was actually in Cobra's site. Let's see, my Flash player's crashed. I got too many tabs open. Well, let's just refresh this. This print is for 134.46. I'll just leave it at that, and we'll move on so I don't waste a bunch of time here. But I think we're going to hit that print very easily. We are right now not even down, we're about flat in after hours right now, so I don't think that there's any question there that we're not going to hit the 134.46 fake print that this fella in Cobra's blog was able to catch. And it is down here. Load more comments, and it is right here. Here it is. We will open this up for you guys, and so you'll see it again for those of you who don't go to the website and see what's going on. Someone named PDZ on Cobra's forum caught this print 134.46. This happened last week. I don't know if that was Thursday. I think it was Thursday that showed up. I think that is our target, 134.46. Look at the intraday high we actually had, and I'll show you here. As you can see, of course, that's probably off the grid. Oops, a little smaller for you guys. Sorry, got to get it here on the screen for you. Okay, as you can clearly see, we hit 134.10. There's no question we're not going to hit that print. We are going to hit that print. Then on the downside, I don't know. Look at all these little prints here we got, downside ticks. This one here came after hours back on the 27th. And so, you know, that's a possibility at 4:10 in the afternoon. What you got to look at, though, is that the print is almost where the open was. So that's lots of times those are just late fills, and it really doesn't help you there. As you can clearly see, these didn't really mean anything. Just that was towards the close of the day as well. 4:05, 4:10, after hours. These here obviously haven't affected anything. We haven't really seen any major upside prints. I have not been noticing them here in my charting system, which is Ameritrade, and they use profit. It's who they use, and I haven't been noticing them. I never seen that print that the guy caught in Cobra's forum. So they might have disabled it for some people. So maybe they don't like me talking about it, so they disabled it for me, and I don't get to see them. So please, everyone that watches these videos, you see them, see something out of the ordinary, you know, shoot an email to me, let me know. I'll get it up on the blog and share it with everybody. So, but here I'm not seeing anything out of the ordinary. But as I said, 134.10, you know, that's quite obvious to me. We are going to go, we're going to go up next week, hit that, and I think that will probably be a point that we're going to sell off and roll over, but not for long. We are going to make a higher high, and let's go over the charts here, the short-term charts, and I'll tell you why. Several reasons, but this move here cannot be sustained. I just do not believe it can continue straight up without a pullback. You measure this move from here to here, it's very similar to this one here in distance, and this one here obviously was 76 points. This one here looks to be almost 80 points, I believe. See, 340 down to 1260, 80 points, or 78 points, whatever. I don't think it's going to sustain it. While there might be a little, maybe it opens flat, moves up just a hair, and then it sells off the rest of the day. It's very possible we could, Monday, that we could come back down here and hit this trend line right here. I think there'll be a bunch of bulls get on board at that point. That's a back test of this line, but I don't know if it's going to be deep enough or not. I really think they're going to go a little deeper. I think there's better support right here at this area right here, 1300, and 1300 is about 40 points down. That's about a 50% fib ratio, and I think it will be an ABC move. And the next move up again, 138.86. That is our final high, I do believe. But it should be about what, 1386. Oops. Let me pause this. Be right back. Okay, gang. For you, that was just a second or two. For me, it was about 30 minutes. So I kind of forgot where I was. But I think I was talking about this coming back down here and doing a back test here. And then I think that it could possibly break it and go on down here to this 1300 area where it's got more support. That'd be a 50% retracement. I'm not sure that that's going to happen with this week. It's just, I don't know, it's just a gut feeling that this is just too strong a move, or not strong a move, but too straight up of a move on low volume to be able to hold support right here. I think this first attempt the bears will cause them to break it. It might hit that and bounce up and then come back down, and still, you know, end up doing a 1, 2, 3 or ABC, whatever you want to call it, and maybe inside here it does a 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe some kind of strange pattern, you know, a bunch of zigzags. But I think it's ultimately going to hit probably about this 1300, and then that area, and then bounce, and then move on up into OPEX of next week, not this coming week, like is tomorrow, July 5th, but the following week. OPEX is generally bullish, and I think it'll probably go up there and hit our 138.86 SPY print, which is about 1388 or something roughly, which would just take out all these stops right here, much like 2007 did, where you put in a little bit of a higher high there, and then you come back down. And there's lots of reasons to think that, folks. You gotta look here at this RSI. It is still going up. There's not even a negative divergence on this, none at all. I mean, so it first has to dip down and has to make another try back up. This is a strong push, and you can bet your bottom dollar that there will be some late coming bulls just waiting to get on board and go for that second move. They're waiting for a pullback. The bears will be happy to bail out probably, and if they haven't already been squeezed out. Probably not very many bears left after a move like this, an 80-point move. I mean, I imagine they just annihilated pretty much all of the bears. So it's just basically going to be bulls that's going to come on board on a move back. Now, whether or not it breaks this and continues down to 1300 area, or if it just hits it and goes on up, I'm not sure. It is light volume week, with today being a holiday, Monday, July 4th, and, you know, 4 days left in the week, so it's possible that it might not do that, but I'm thinking that it will. But obviously we got a negative divergence right here, clearly 60's ready to roll over, and I believe it will do so sometime Monday, and it will go below zero, and then Tuesday we should have a decent down day if all goes as well, and then this rolls over as well. On the 30-minute chart, you can pretty much see the same thing. Still no negative divergence, still a positive divergence. Draw you a line right there. It's a positive divergence, still going up. You need a negative divergence, so you need this to be lower while the market makes another high. That's how negative divergence works. Is they're opposite of each other, negative and positive. In other words, market moves higher and the RSI moves lower, the relative strength index. That means it's going higher on less amount of strength, less amount of people pushed it higher, which means it's going to come back down. It's the latecomers that get on board. So again, here in the 30-minute, you can clearly see it'll probably dip down here. I mean, it's done it several times here, and there's light volume again tomorrow, you know, Tuesday, so it's possible that it could put in another small one, but I really think we're going to have a decent move down here. I don't know if it's going to be this deep, but maybe this deep, possibly, at some point, whether it's tomorrow or Tuesday. I think it's ready to come back down. And 15-minute chart. 15-minute chart would support either way, go up, down. Hard to say. It's going down right now, and it's curling down. Full stochastics, MACD. Yeah, it could curl back up for one little push up, but again, there's no negative divergence here either. But I don't think too much of that. That's too much of a short term. Daily chart. You know, when we look at the daily, this to me looks. This should have stopped it, by the way, folks. If you were on the blog, you know, I never did go short. I told everyone that this looked really strong and the market was trading sideways, putting in a bull flag. I was a little worried about it. I was kind of waiting to the end of the day to see if we'd have some type of topping tail. But when it closed above that, I was like, phew, I'm not touching it. You know, it was just too strong of a move. Yes, that was a necktie, and in any normal market, this would have stopped it. But we're not doing it in a normal market. This is a 100% manipulated market, heavily controlled by the Illuminati gangsters, and they pushed it right through that necktie. You've had a ton of resistance. So you can draw this line through here, and you can see that that was a resistance line. You had the two moving averages, the 50 and the 100. You had this little little dotted line. That's the center channel for this channel. These black lines right here are channel move. All kinds of reasons to indicate that it should have hit it, backed off for a day or two. It did not. Moves like this straight up are total manipulation. These type of moves is what you have off of a crash. I mean, literally, you'd have a rally like that off of a crash after it hit a certain bottom, like back in March of 2009 when you hit the 666 low and finally it triggered some buy programs. Well, you would expect a huge short squeeze at some point there and to go straight up, but not at a top. I mean, this market is topping. It's in a topping phase. So it's just total manipulation. I did say it was going to go higher. We still are going to go higher. Again, I think this is going to go up, curl over, and work its way down and put in some negative divergence here on these towers. But I do expect this to go up, to get up here to 5, maybe 10, up here in that range before it rolls over here on the MACD. So while it could dip down for 1 day or 2 days to touch that 1300, it's a buying opportunity for a move up to 138.86, I do believe. So same thing here on a full stochastic, could roll down. Slow stochastics obviously still going up, but now that we're moving up, you would not expect to move back down to 20. You're going to look for something more like this right here. You know, dip down, back up, you know, something like this, kind of the same thing that we had down here. You know, several weeks back when I said that we would continue down and come back up and come back and do a move similar to that, we ended up doing it. We actually went a lot further than I thought. I did not think we would go that much further. I don't think I mentioned that. Well, maybe I did mention that we were going to go below 20, but because I thought it was a more powerful move because the weekly chart was pushing down too. But regardless, it doesn't matter. I was kind of expecting here at this point for us to go back down and hit the double bottom area here of what is that, 1250 or something. We didn't. Instead, this 200-day moving average is what really held the market up. And also, by the way, on the weekly chart, you can draw a line from here through here, I believe, and it will come right up underneath here, and that is a major trend line of support. So, but looking at that, you can here. Well, there's your perfect example. There's why you had just a huge move up, obviously. But look at how low it was. But to see this kind of candle like this, that's total manipulation. So anyway, I do think we're going to go up here on this weekly. We're going to work our way up, and you can see I don't know how high we're going to get above there. I don't expect it to be much. If we get 1 or 2 bars above it, maybe something like that right there, I don't know, or maybe even like that, just 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks. I don't think it's going to be much. the monthly's rolling over. So I just don't see a lot. As you can see here, monthly hit that line and pierced it and come right back up. But I do believe it's rolling over. You can see it is finally losing steam and heading down. Again, my thoughts are this is going to tie you right back to the Legatus pilgrimage, and that is, see if I got that for you, but that was said sometime back. May the 2nd was the ending date, and October 30th was the starting date. It was a 3-day pilgrimage earlier this year in May, or I should say the end of April. That was when these gangsters got together in this fake Catholic organization. I understand this is where all your evil comes from. The Pope, and he's one of these people worshiping these reptilian demons, if he's not one himself, these aliens. It's a false religion that's talked about in the Bible. And I don't mean all Catholics are bad, of course not. I don't mean that at all. I'm just saying the high-ranking people are they're worshiping the reptilian aliens and the fourth dimension that's known as Satan. And they're still doing the ritual sacrifices and killing people, and yes, they rape young boys. It's just sick stuff, folks. It's sick stuff. I want people to wake up and realize it's just not real, that this is all fake. And they timed the market around this. This was a fact. This happened. You can see it on Reinhardt's site. He clearly called this to the T. If I can find it on his site, he was dead on accurate on it. Well, I'll let you go look at it. I think maybe it was here, but he was dead accurate on calling us. He goes back to October the 8th. He's the one that turned me onto this Legatus thing. The guy's smart. He's caught this stuff to the T, and he's basing it all upon, they crash the stock market when they need to steal some money from the public to pay for expensive things, building railroads and huge buildings and trains. I mean, well, I already said that, but sorry. All these things. He predicted it, and there's a picture of the fake Pope again, the reptilian. These are old stuff, but he called it to the date. Now, the former organization was called Opus Deus, and this was done by the Domino's Pizza guy. So when you eat a Domino's Pizza, understand this guy's a Satanist right here. He founded the group, and in 1987 he founded the I guess the Legatus group, not the Opus Deus. I guess that one's the one before that. Well, anyway, point being, the big crash is already scheduled. It's right here, folks. October 16th through the 23rd. If we make it to that time period, and we have already participated in a wave 1 down, and we are going back up into a wave 2 into that pattern, then that's what you can expect is the week of October 23rd. You better get your shorts on, because I believe that's when the crap's going to hit the fan. And that would make sense. I suspect by then we will have broken this level here, which is the 1292 area. That should be easy enough to break by October. And we probably will have broken the 50 moving average, and possibly even this 200 moving average. I'm not sure about that. We'll have to see how far it goes. But we are in a topping phase. We are much like this period here. And we're somewhere in this area. I don't know where, but it's not going to be identical, of course, but I definitely think we are topping. So again, you look at this on the weekly, and if you can just count it out and move this up into positive territory and go with some very small weekly candles because of light volume. July is probably going to be a positive month. August might be start to down a little bit, maybe a bounce back up in September into October, and then these candles are going to slowly start to work their way back down. I believe is what's going to happen, and we're going to have the crash of all crashes. The key there is breaking that 200 period moving average, which I think will be done. When that crash comes, it's definitely going to be done, but I think we'll probably hit that and bounce off of that somewhere into August, late August, and I think then we'll have that rally through September into October, back up a little bit, and then fall back down. It's going to be hard to tell how far they're going to go down because we got lots of fake prints on the downside, but we should certainly bounce from the 200 period moving average. So anyway, it's pretty clear cut is the one I'm expecting. Is for Monday, I'm expecting to move up to the fake print on the SPY, the 134.46, and tag that, and then roll over and come back down and hit somewhere. This one's not showing it. Bounce off of this trend line possibly, but ultimately I'd like to see a move down to 1300 before I'd be willing to go long on up to here. But obviously that assumes that this has went down, buried itself, and is ready to come back up, put in a positive divergence, as well as the daily maybe dip down here a little bit and starting to curl back up, because you need this to obviously put in a negative divergence as it goes higher. That's what you would want to see. So hopefully that all makes sense for everyone. I do got something I've been working on here for the last several weeks, and almost got it completed, and I will be telling everyone about it. I think everyone's going to like it. It's going to dig it. It's going to be pretty cool when I get them done. So I'll let you all know. It's a surprise. I like to surprise people. Okay, people outside here are setting off fireworks, so I think I'm going to drink me a beer and chill out and celebrate the 4th of July and pretend like it really means independence. I can't wait till it actually does mean independence from these gangsters. We have to set up our own Tea Party holiday whenever we arrest Henry Kissinger and George Bush and David Rockefeller and Queen Elizabeth, and off with their heads. Put them on a stake. You won't even recognize them when they turn back to reptilians. I gotta find a picture of one of them reptilians. There was one in one of the videos that I did, but I didn't do that I'd put on the site. But okay, gang, I'm just rambling. I'm sorry. I ain't got nothing else to say. Oh, one more thing here. Yeah, there's one last thing I want to cover right here. On the astrology side, this guy's quite good at it. I wanted to cover this again because it is not called every one of them perfectly, but here the actual moves happened a day or two before. Actually topped out a day or two before the new moon there and before the new moon there. This time I believe it's topping out a day or two after the new moon. And if you look at when it should take us down to, it's got it here. It looks like the 18th is the full moon, which could be a bottom or a top, does not matter, just could be a turn date. I don't know what it's going to be. I'm really not thinking it's going to be a down move. I'm thinking it's going to be a top. I'm thinking this will turn, go back down decently, maybe at 1300 before this June 11th. Then I'm thinking back on up, moving on up, and by the 18th, which is that week of OPEX, thinking that's the week that they'll run it back up and get it up here, that approaching a new high with the 138.86 print. So is that possible? In this market? Absolutely. Look at some of these moves they made. It doesn't look like it's possible to run down there and turn and go back up. But if it only runs down to say 1315, 1320, then certainly I'm wrong on that, and then it just turns and runs back up, and this marks the turn date, the 18th, or slightly after. It can mark the turn date, meaning the top is in. I think it's going to be a top. I know prior it looks like bottoms, bottoms, bottoms. Here it was a top. I think it's time for it to be a top. It's nothing that says the new moons or the full moons here are tops or bottoms. They can be either. So keep that in mind. They don't, they're just usually turn dates. That's all. So that is it. Sorry. Again, I rambled on. 30 minutes long. Have a good one, guys. See you on the blog. Happy 4th of July.